Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about our buys, sells, and dividends for the week of December 17th through December 23rd. Let's get it. So as you guys can see here, we have M1 Finance pulled up. This is our main dividend portfolio, although we do have a couple others, as you all know. So for this week, we pretty much have only gotten $3.38. Most of it was from BSTZ, which is the BlackRock Science and Technology Term Fund. Of course, you know, BlackRock is the biggest asset manager in the world, so you know we have to have something coming in from them. But we really haven't gotten a lot of dividends for most of our portfolios, I should say, because most of the dividends that we get roll in towards the end of the month or the start of the month. So this week is kind of like a no start, so to speak. You guys can see if we scroll back here, like a lot of the dividends that we get kind of really roll in towards the end of the month or start of the month. So with that being said, as soon as this thing wants to load, I can go ahead and go over to the trades that we took this week in this particular portfolio. So if we go over the 18th, which was the start of the week, you guys can see that we bought ACP and GSBD, which is the Goldman Sachs BDC. We basically have been getting in and out of these because they've been giving us some profit. And again, we do not want to miss out on the ex-dividend date so we can get paid. And we go to the 19th, which I believe was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So we bought ACP, sold NVDY because it was in the money. Don't worry, we actually did buy back into NVDY. We're not selling our yield max ETFs. And we bought into or sold GSBD again for a profit. So we basically moved the profit from these over to ACP, plus our daily buy is what that is. Now, if we go to the 20th, you guys can see that we bought ACP, we bought back into GSBD and NVDY, and we sold all of HRZN. Now, we do plan on buying HRZN back in the future, but as of right now, we just want to get each position that we have paying us somewhere between $20 to $30 a month. That's been the goal. We've told you guys that plenty of times on this channel. So 21st, we bought ACP. And 22nd, we also bought some more GSBD because, again, the ex-dividend date is right around the corner. I believe it's on the, I want to say it's on the 27th or the 28th. I don't remember. I think it's on the 28th. I don't remember the exact date, but it's sometime this week. So now we're going to go over to the portfolio real quick because I want to show you guys something on here. So we're going to go over to the slightly lower yielding. Well, they're not low yield. They're actually high yield, but the non-yield max monthly dividend paying stocks that we have. So the main ones that we've been really adding to this last week has mainly just been ACP. As you guys can see here, we are up pretty huge in share count. This is now going to pay us roughly about $20 a month consistently every single month. So we've been adding pretty substantially to that. And the other one that we have also been trying to add to recently, which is also undervalued, would be PDI, or the PIMCO Dynamic Income Fund. So we've been adding slowly to this. We currently have 50 shares. We need to get about 100 to get $20 a month. And as you can see, the market price is roughly about $2 below our cost basis. So there's plenty of room to buy there on the dip. So that's what's going on with M1. In terms of the dividends that we got paid this month, we only got paid dividends from M1. We did not get anything from Webull or Robinhood. I can show you guys here. So nothing from Webull. Nothing's changed here. And if we go back up here and click on the Robinhood portfolio, you guys can see that basically we all know when the yield max ETFs pay out. They paid out roughly about a week ago, and CLIP is not going to pay out until, I want to say, around the 31st to the 1st. We all know that. And the Defiance ETFs will not be paying out until roughly about the 1st of next month. So there's not really much to look at here in terms of dividends. So moving on, we're going to take a look at the Fidelity portfolio real quick. As you guys can see, we are up massively. We're up almost 112%. It's pretty insane. LTCN has done really, really well, but we expect it to go much, much higher from this point. So we're not selling. I have to admit, it's a little tempting to sell with this much sitting on the table like this, and even in HRZN. But again, do understand that we got LTCN at a great price, in my opinion. So there's no reason for us to sell. If it comes back down below our cost basis, which we think is not going to happen, there's a very small likelihood of that happening, then we'll just buy more. But again, I really, really don't think that it's going to go back down below 550 a share at this point. I just don't see that happening. HSEN, I got a comment the other day on one of these videos. Haven't replied to it yet, but something about markets chopping sideways. Guys, when you see something chopping sideways in the markets and it's at the lows in crypto, any cryptocurrency, it doesn't matter if it's a native crypto, non-native crypto, if you see it at the lows and it's chopping sideways, that's what's known as accumulation. That is the best time to buy. Not financial advice, but if you see that, we'll go over this later in the charts in a different video, but that is the best time to buy when the price is doing absolutely nothing, chopping sideways and at the lows, okay? So HSEN, in my opinion, we have positioned ourselves perfectly. We might even add more if it comes back down again, but I don't think it's going to do it at this point. We'll just have to wait and see. So in terms of buys on Fidelity, we have not bought or sold anything in the last week. Again, we could. This would be a really, really nice profit, but we're not going to take it because we're expecting this amount to go up by at least another, I would say, this total return amount here to go up by at least another 40 to 50x, somewhere in there. But it may be another year or so before that happens. The spot Bitcoin ETFs could change that, but we'll just have to wait and see. We're operating based on previous market cycles, so we're not really expecting the spot Bitcoin ETF to change that, but it could. Really don't know at this point. So with that being said, we'll go back to M1 Finance. So our sells for the week are in HRZN, GSBD, OARC on the M1 Finance account. We did sell that for a small amount of profit and position back in. As a matter of fact, I can show you guys that right here. So you can see that we basically, as soon as this thing wants to load, you guys can see that we have a market sell here. But again, the ex-dividend date for the Yield Max ETFs is not until the beginning of next month, so we want to lock in some profit before it before the X date pops up. And we also sold quite a bit of Coney as Coney was ripping and we wanted to take profit. In terms of our dividend stock buys, we bought ACP, Coney, and GUI. We're going to get into that in a minute. And in terms of our crypto buys, we will also get into that in a minute. So M1 is pretty much covered at this point. We're going to go ahead and go to Robinhood now. So you guys can see OARC has done pretty well. Actually, if we take a look at this, you can see that it's not far away from our cost basis, and we have not bought anything in OARC in like probably a couple of months, I would say. But you can see from the low down here, this thing has pretty much been trending up. Part of that is because of crypto. Again, keep in mind, the ARK ETF does have exposure to Coinbase and Tesla, and they both have Bitcoin and crypto. Just so y'all know. Well, I think Tesla is just Bitcoin, but obviously Coinbase is, well, you know, it's cryptocurrencies. So, but in terms of the sells that we've made this week, the gains that we've made from that has been 59.41 in total. So our total in dividends and gains on the week is 62.79. Most of the gains that came in that we took was from the Coney ETF because, again, Coney was just going absolutely insane. You can see the current price is at $29. And we do have quite a bit of shares right now. We have about 20 shares. So it's hard to say where the dividend is going to be on the next dividend date. But I would say at this point, the price has gone so parabolic. If it continues like this, then the dividend payout could be somewhere between $2 to $3 again at a minimum. I would be a little hesitant to say anything beyond that, but you guys can see even with our high cost basis here, we are still in profit. If the cost comes back down, then of course we're going to buy more because the next 12 months are going to be extremely bullish for crypto. And pretty much any profit that we've taken off the table, we have used to buy the GUI ETF. So you can see we're slowly accumulating shares here. We have 18 shares. Something to understand about Google is Google's not just into AI. Okay, Google has they have phone services. You have the Google Fi phones, so people that spend all day on their cell phones, staring at their phones, looking at social media and stuff. Some of those phones are from Google. Okay, so they have that. They have AI. They have cloud services. They have basically the world's largest search engine. You could search you could figure out where to buy your stocks on Google. I mean, that's just, I don't know how it's, I don't know what else to explain here, but obviously it's, in my opinion, a good idea to own at least some GUI or Google, whatever you prefer. So with that being said, we have added a new crypto position here. This is the Hut 8 Corp, which is a US-based crypto mining firm. There's 3 of them. There's Mara, Riot, and Hut 8. We think Hut 8 is the most undervalued. As you can see, it went up about $1.50 a share from when we bought in. We're not going to buy in as this thing's ripping to the moon. Again, we don't really like to chase the rally. We're not really FOMO investors. We don't like to buy the FOMO. We like to buy things that are undervalued and not doing much. So if this thing continues to rip, we'll probably just hold off and buy something else and wait for the price to come down. But we do kind of expect maybe a small pullback in Bitcoin and crypto at some point in the near future. And when that happens, we could potentially get better prices on this. So that covers the Robinhood portfolio. Again, no dividends here. We pretty much have been buying nothing but Coney and opened up our new Hut position. And with that being said, there's not really much going on in the Webull app. Everything's pretty much the same. Our share count's the same. Positioning is the same. You can see we're almost at the money again on ORC, which is insane. You see all these green weeks here. We've had literally 6 green weeks in a row on ORC. It's absolutely nuts. So Apple's gone up too quite a bit, which is nice. You can see from the lows, these things have made some pretty nice recoveries. SoundHound, not much going on there, but it is chopping sideways. As you guys can see, it's been doing so since August. So we are considering putting some more money into this because it looks like an accumulation. So with that being said, we're going to go to our native crypto. So this is our native crypto portfolio. Again, this is a small piece of our overall native crypto portfolio. It's not the entire thing. Okay, this is, I would say, roughly about a third or less than a third of what we own in total. Just so you all know, in terms of the cryptocurrencies that we own, it's pretty much this entire list here that we have on TradingView. The only ones that we do not currently own is Bitcoin, Ether. Well, I take that back. We do actually own some Ether and Litecoin. So we don't own any Bitcoin. No Doge currently. Bitcoin Cash, Banker, Compound. Let's see what else. IODEX, we just sold out of that one. ICP, something we've been keeping an eye on. ETH Classic, Link, Zen, Synthetics, and Track, and Tezos. We don't own any of those, but the rest of the ones that we do have here on this list, we do own. So with that being said, we are actually in the money on Jasmy. We currently have a K in Jasmy, but you can see we're up in the money. And in terms of the buys that we've made in crypto this week, we have bought the Hut 8 stock. As we showed you before, we bought Jasmy Coin, Filecoin, and Mana. So we're going to take a look at that now. So I believe, let's see, December 16th, start of the week was December 17th. So we started buying here. So we bought $20 here. And then we bought another $20 here on the 19th. And then we bought another $15 here on the 20th. Our expectation for Jasmy is roughly about a 50x. We think the price could hit 30 cents at a minimum. It could go higher, obviously, but I would say 30 cents is a conservative estimate, in my opinion. So we bought a little bit of Filecoin, just a very small amount. We actually have quite a bit of Filecoin, just so you all know. It's much more than it appears here on this account. But we bought $15 worth on the 21st. Again, our average cost basis on Filecoin is roughly about $7 a token. And the current price is $5.62. But if we look at the chart here, you guys can see that the all-time high was way up there. It was almost $240 a token. So there is a lot of upside on this one. And the last one that we just recently started picking up was Mana, because this thing is currently roughly about 90% off the all-time highs. It hasn't really been doing much, even though a lot of other cryptos have been popping off. So we've starting this week, we've begun to start purchasing some of this. So you can see we bought some today. Our current cost basis on this, I believe, is 67 cents per token, which is not bad, but we want to get it lower than that and get a lot more. So you can see here that the all-time high back in November of 2021 was almost $6 a pop. So you're talking more than a 10x at this point, and that's if it doesn't go to new highs. So yeah, anyways, with that being said, this is our buys, sells, and dividends for the week. It's kind of really a lot to go over, but again, we're positioning for multiple different events. So hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.